Hey Summoners, welcome to What Your ADC Main Says About You. Today we're breaking down the personalities of your favorite AD carries, and trust me, it's gonna be a wild ride. Whether you're rocking the high-flying plays of a Vayne or the sneaky tactics of a Twitch, there's a bit of truth in every champion. So grab your snacks, get comfy, and let's dive into the world of ADCs to see what your main really says about you. Yes, Draven mains. You pick Draven because he's loud, flashy, and makes everything about him. Just like you at family gatherings when you bring up your controversial opinions that nobody asked for. I mean, come on. Draven doesn't just think he's better than you, he knows it. And honestly, deep down, so do you. But bro, maybe cool it on that energy. You've been kicked from enough Discord servers as it is. Also, I see the way you hover to ban Lucian in Champ Select. Kaisa mains, you're all about adaptability. You're constantly adjusting to what's happening in the game, evolving with each situation just like your champion. You've got a natural ability to pick the right time to dive in, and when you do, it's game-changing. You enjoy being versatile, and nothing excites you more than transforming to fit the perfect moment. Xayah mains, you love feeling like the edgy rebel of the group. You probably think your feathers are as sharp as your wit. But let's be real, you're just a few steps away from writing sad lyrics in your journal. And let's not forget, without Raken, you'd be flapping those wings solo and hard stuck in low elo. But hey, even when you act like you don't need anyone, deep down you're loyal and ride or die for your team when it matters. Keep flying, you feathered drama queen. Jinx mains, you're basically walking chaos. We get it. You love to watch the world burn. Every fight you're screaming, "Let's go!" as if your questionable playstyle isn't sending your entire team spiraling into a 45-minute defeat. Maybe the problem isn't them, it's you. Also, we all know you've got some unresolved issues from middle school, but maybe therapy is better than throwing ultimates halfway across the map for memes. Misfortune mains love simplicity and effectiveness. You enjoy being able to control team fights with a well-timed ultimate, and nothing feels more satisfying than landing a perfect bullet time. You understand positioning and you play strategically, always looking for that moment where you can turn the tide of battle. Ezreal mains. The E-boys of League. You spam skill shots like you're playing Fortnite. We get it, you're quirky and probably have an anime profile pic. Varus mains, we get it. You love being the silent, brooding type. You sit in the back, charging your Q, hoping to hit that game-winning snipe, but most of the time, you just miss and hit a minion. You're all about style, but your gameplay? Well, it's got more misses than hits. But hey, when you do land that clutch ult, it feels amazing. And no one can deny your dedication to mastering precision. Keep aiming high, even if you miss half the time. Lucian mains are all about action. You love the fast-paced nature of Lucian's kit, dashing in and out of fights with precision. You thrive in intense situations where quick reflexes and smart positioning pay off. You're always focused on making plays and taking charge in fights, leading your team from the front. Samira mains, you think you're in an action movie. You're that person who brings an actual katana to Comic-Con and tries to cut a watermelon in half. Like, cool, but take it down a notch. I swear, Samira mains die 20 times before they realize they're not the protagonist. Chill, John Wick. Kog'Maw mains, we all know you're here to farm up and turn into a living turret in the late game. You sit back, spit from afar, and hope your team protects you long enough to melt through enemies. Sure, you're not the fastest or flashiest, but when you get going, there's no stopping you. And that's the best part about Kog'Maw mains. You play the long game. You're patient, and when the time comes, you can turn the game around with insane DPS. Keep chewing through the enemy, you late-game beast! Vayne mains are determined and persistent. You love the thrill of the late game, where your ability to outplay opponents shines the brightest. You're patient and willing to wait for the perfect moment to strike, knowing that even when behind, you can still carry the game with the right moves. Your love for high-skill champions is what drives you to constantly improve. Jhin mains. 50% you guys think you're so deep and artistic, like some tragic villain from a Shakespearean play. Meanwhile, the rest of us just see someone who's too scared to auto-attack, and the other 50% are usually pretty chill and won't type a single word in chat. Kalista mains, you have the reflexes of a caffeinated squirrel, always hopping around and making sure no one can catch you. Sure, your support probably thinks you're a little too obsessed with sticking together, but hey, that's just because you care. You're all about coordination and loyalty, which is kind of sweet when you think about it. So even if you're always jumping out of trouble, we know you'll always have your team's back. Keep spearing your way to victory, you loyal soul. Nila mains, you like to think of yourself as the hero who dives headfirst into danger, smiling while the rest of us are screaming in terror. You think you're untouchable with that waterbending dodge, but really, you're just one bad ult away from turning into a glorified wave pool for your enemies. But I'll give it to you, your fearlessness is something else. Even when things get tough, you keep smiling through the pain and charging into the fight. That kind of optimism is infectious, and hey, maybe one day it'll actually work out for you. Zeri mains enjoy speed and mobility. You love champions that can zip around the battlefield, dodging skill shots and chasing down enemies. You're the type of player who enjoys creating opportunities by staying on the move, making it difficult for your opponents to pin you down. Zeri's high-energy playstyle reflects your love for dynamic, fast-paced action. Twitch mains, you're basically the rat of League, sneaking around looking for kills. You pop out of stealth, delete people, and then run off like a bandit. You probably think you're a genius for catching people off guard, but let's be real, you're just as sneaky IRL when it comes to dodging responsibilities. But here's the thing, your sneaky, clever playstyle shows how resourceful you are. You wait for the perfect moment, and when it strikes, it's game over for the enemy team. So keep lurking, you crafty little assassin. Ashe mains are like the mom friend of ADCs. Reliable, practical, and always there to clean up everyone's mess. Too bad your ult accuracy is like trying to throw a dart blindfolded. Yeah, you're a team player, but we all know you're still salty. You aren't playing a real carry. Senna mains, you've got this whole dark and brooding thing down, like you just stepped out of a gothic novel. You love sitting in the back, sniping people with your long-range Q, thinking you're some kind of sniper god, but let's be real, half the time you're just spamming abilities, hoping something hits. Also, you probably feel way too attached to Lucian. Seriously, give the guy some space. But deep down, we know you're just a protector at heart, always looking out for your team and ready to save the day with a clutch shield or heal. So keep fighting the darkness, you caring soul. Aphelios mains, you probably have a 200-page strategy guide taped to your wall, because only you understand half of what's happening during your games. You're juggling 5 weapons like a League of Legends circus act, and sometimes even you don't know what you're doing. But when it all clicks, when you perfectly swap and outplay the enemy, it's a masterpiece. You're a tactical genius, or at least that's what you tell yourself. Keep up the complex plays, you 200 IQ mastermind. Caitlyn mains value strategy and control. You love setting up plays with your traps and using your range to keep enemies at bay. Your strong sense of positioning allows you to dominate in lane and remain safe during fights, picking off enemies from a distance. You're patient and methodical, always looking for the perfect opportunity to take down your targets. Sivir mains are all about teamwork and efficiency. You enjoy being the backbone of your team, using your ultimate to initiate fights and speed your team to victory. You thrive on farming efficiently and scaling into the late game, where you can deal massive AoE damage in teamfights. Your focus is always on making sure your team has the tools they need to succeed. Tristana mains, you're like the hyperactive kid at a party, always jumping around and looking for something to blow up. You think you're fearless, but it's more like recklessness when you rocket jump into 5 enemies. The good news? Even when things don't go as planned, you never lose that explosive optimism. And honestly, your cheerful go-getter attitude is what makes you such a fun teammate. So keep jumping into chaos. You might just blow everyone away for real one day. Whether you're the next bot lane god or just trying to climb out of iron, we all know our mains reflect a little bit of who we are. If you had fun, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment on what role I should do next, and subscribe for more content. And hey, share this with your duo. You know they need to hear it. Bye!